Okay, here we have a system of equations question where we're trying to find if the system has no solution, and they're asking us to find p, and p is a constant. So when it says the system has no solution, we want to imagine something where we have an answer where slope is the same and the y-intercept is different. So I think a good way to visualize this is that we all know the equation of a line is y equals to mx plus b, and given some coordinate, for a system to have no solution, a solution means that there is a intercept between two lines. So that normally means that, let's say there's a line here and a line here, and where it intercepts is the solution. But this time we don't want a solution. So what does that mean? It means that we want lines that are parallel, which means they'll go on to infinity without ever touching. So let's say we have a line here and a line here. And we can notice that the slope is the same. But notice how the y-intercepts over here and y over here is different. But over time, you'll see that they'll never touch again because the slope is the same and y-intercept is different. And because they run parallel, they won't touch. Okay, so let's move on to solving this question. So I'm going to work with equation 1 first. I'll label these. Now working with equation 1, we can combine the like terms and simplify, and we will get something like this. So I'll move the y to the other side by adding 7 over 8. And we should get 14 over 8y minus 5 over 8x equals to 4 over 7. We can simplify, and then we can make the equation into the form y equals to mx plus b. And I think if we move this to the other side by adding 5 over 8x, and we can simplify this to 7 over 4, so we get 7 over 4y equals to 5 over 8x plus 4 over 7. Now we can just ways to make it a bit easier to work with. I guess we can just isolate the y, so we can do y equals to I'm just going to use a calculator for this part, but you should get something like 5 over 14x plus 16 over 49. Yeah, that's right. So pretty much we're just multiplying this and we're multiplying by 4 or 7 because we're just dividing both sides by 7 over 4. So we solved, or we made the first equation follow the y equals to mx plus b formula. The second equation, you do the same thing. Again, I don't want to go over the algebra. You can test it out yourself, but you should get something like y equals to 5 over 4px minus 2 over p. Now this is where this whole information I said in the beginning comes into play. So notice over here, this is the slope term, this is the slope term. I'll do the y-intercept in light green. So we have light green here, light green here. I want to make some space. I'm going to clear this all out. Okay. So the first slope is 5/14. Second slope is 5/4p. To find parallel lines, we want to set them equal to each other. So 5/14 equals to 5/4p. We can divide both sides by 5 to get 1/14 equals to 1/4p. Now we can cross multiply and we will get 4p equals to 14. Hence, p equals to 14/4, or it's just 7/2. So from what I erased earlier, there were two statements that had to be true. A, the slopes had to be the same, and B, the intercepts had to be different. So we can check that since there's a P here. We have to make sure to check it. If they do equal, then this system has infinite amount of solutions since the lines overlap and they're the same line. So we can check 16/49 equals to 2/7/2. Sorry, -2/7/2, which becomes 16/49 equals to -4/7, and they do not equal, since 16 divided by 4 is 4, 49 divided by 4 is not 7. Therefore, the system has no solution, and this is our final answer, since it is asking for P.